Welcome to Port City Living. We are about to fill your ear holes with information about life in Wilmington, North Carolina. I am your host, Bill Corbett. I am a local real estate agent serving the greater Wilmington, North Carolina area. And my co-host is Brad Brown, who is a mortgage lender who also serves the greater Wilmington, North Carolina area. Actually, Brad, do you go past Wilmington, North Carolina?
I can do all of North Carolina and South Carolina. Thank you.
Well, your scope is way broader than mine. That is for sure.
And ear holes?
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Different, kind of
Carry
different.
on.
So, our last episode was about the Azalea Festival, and we interviewed Drew Nettleman and Allison Behringer. He was this year's past president of the Azalea Festival, and she is the executive director of the Azalea Festival. And that was an awesome podcast. If you have not listened to it, I highly recommend that you do. Brad and I took a few weeks off, and we experienced Easter, and we actually experienced the Azalea Festival. So today we thought we would talk about our experiences and how much fun we had. Because as you recall, if you've heard the last podcast, I was not going to any of it. Except, well, I think I said I was going to the gala, but I did end up going to the garden party after all.
Yep.
And it was marvelous.
It was a beautiful day.
A beautiful day. But before we talk about the Azalea Festival, why don't we talk about Easter? Because everybody talks about or experiences Easter. Did you have a good Easter with your family? Was it anything?
What did we do?
I was not with you, so I have no idea.
Oh, you know what? I've talked about this with others. We did church. We came home. We laid low. I think I might have had a moment.
Wait. You went to church?
I did, yeah.
Wow. Did it catch on fire?
Came home. No, I'm not that.
Okay.
Then I sat by the pool that afternoon because it was a nice day then. Not warm, but it was still a nice day. And then out of nowhere, we just planned a last-minute cookout. We grilled hot dogs, had chips, and that was it.
Did you not hide Easter eggs?
No.
Really?
Yeah, my kids don't. Now, we dyed eggs late Sunday night just because my 15-year-old is like, that's tradition. We can't not have Easter eggs.
But you didn't hide them after you...
No, because Easter was over. It was like 10 o'clock
Did you
night.
eat them at least?
No.
So you just threw them in the garbage can?
Remember, we have eggs upon eggs upon eggs.
Oh, that's right. You have little chickens running around. I forgot.
Yeah. So, but what about you? What did you do?
I didn't do anything, actually, because my parents ended up getting COVID. And so a couple days before Easter, my mom says, I'm not feeling good, but we're going to get together with the family anyway. And I was like, well, I knew the Azalea Festival was the next weekend, and I was like, I'm not going to take the chance of being around any of y'all if y'all are all sick, because I've spent a lot of money to go to these events, and I don't want to take the chance of not being able to go. So, and then I think it was Friday before Easter, she called me and she said, I officially have COVID. I tested positive. My dad never tested, but I'm pretty sure he had it as well. Yeah. And my brother had it before that. They got it from him. So we didn't get together at all. So I just did my normal Sunday like I always do. And
my mom and dad came over and had a hot dog, and we had something else to go with it. But anyway, yeah, they just came over. It was all very just, let's do this. And that's all we did.
Well, we do the Easter egg hiding thing. We do the Easter but we don't dye them. We just do the plastic eggs. But my aunt, my dad's sister, has done this for us forever, for me and my brother and his 3 kids. Yeah. So, obviously me and my brother, we're in our 50s now, but she still does it. And she puts money in these eggs.
Nice.
And there's always one special egg that's like covered in tinfoil. That's like the big one, and that's got the
silver
big
egg.
The big money in it.
It's not a golden egg.
Not a golden egg. It's a silver egg. It's tinfoil egg, but it's got the big money in it. And so whoever finds that gets that lot. And I want to say some years it's been like hundreds of dollars. I want to say, maybe not, but
that's impressive.
Yeah. So, but we didn't get to do that. But she still made the eggs, and I still have. Well, my mom has it. I just haven't picked it up yet. But so yeah, we didn't do anything. But so Easter came and went, and then we geared up for the Azalea Festival. And can you believe it's already come and gone? And it's been 2 weeks ago, because we're recording this on the 18th, and the festival was the 4th through the 7th, right? 5th through the 7th, something like that.
Well, the 5th was that Friday, so
4th through the 7th, 3rd through the 7th.
The crowning was that Wednesday.
So that's already been 2 weeks ago. Yeah. hard to believe.
It is.
I mean, for those of us, this is like the event of the year for a lot of us in this town.
Right.
And as we mentioned in the previous episode, but I enjoyed it. I had a really good time.
Again,
I looked fabulous.
The weather was incredible.
As always. Didn't I? I did look good. We all looked good. Everybody looked good.
Yeah.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with it, well, first of all, before we get into the garden party, let's talk about what you experienced, because you did more things than I did. You actually went to all the events this year. Let's do a timeline. Do a timeline.
So what I did not do was the Queen's coronation on Wednesday. And that's where, and when we recorded the last episode, talking about what's to come, with the president and executive director, we did not know at that time who the Queen was.
Right.
They did. All they would tell us was she's got her own Wikipedia page.
And they dropped that on us, on everybody almost at the last minute.
It felt like the last minute.
It felt like that, yeah.
So it was Sharon Lawrence, which some people kind of question, who is that? I immediately knew who it was by the name.
I didn't know her by the name, but when I saw her face, I was like, "Oh yeah, I know who Sharon Lawrence is. This is incredible."
Yeah. And what's interesting is she's a very active actress from North Carolina, from Charlotte, I believe. Graduated from UNC Chapel Hill.
Yep.
Living in LA now. I actually follow her on Instagram because she's got.
Are y'all like best friends now?
We're besties now. We're really not, but she did comment on one of my posts, which I thought was kind of cool. So
that's really cool.
There's that. My claim to fame: 1 degree of separation. But yeah, so the crowning was Wednesday. I've never been to a crowning. I don't know what that event is like, but the weather was really bad that day, and that's
so
okay.
They moved it to the Ballast Hotel downtown because I think it was supposed to be on the waterfront.
Yep. It's supposed to be on the Battleship for the first time this year, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So they moved it to the Hotel Ballast Ballroom, and it looked like they had a good turnout. Just the weather was really bad that day. It's the price to pay for what we had Thursday through
which was
Sunday, though.
Marvelous.
The weather was incredible.
Because I've been out there to the garden party year before last, and I was so hot.
Yeah.
And it's rained before, I think, for some people.
Yep, it has. Yeah. Yep. So it was not a good Wednesday, but it led up to great weather for the rest of the week.
And the azaleas, even though they started blooming a little earlier this year, they were, I would say, in full. I would say the weekend after. Now they're almost all gone now.
Right,
so
right.
I mean, they really nailed it. And some years they nail it, some years they don't nail
Right.
it. Sometimes the blossoms are gone.
Well, had we not had the cool spell after that 85-degree streak, because that's what really pushed them out. And then it got really cool, and I think that's what made them hold on. I don't know. I'm not a botanist.
I'm not either, but
giving you my observation.
I know that Azalea Festival is typically the first or second weekend of April every year, and typically the azaleas look pretty good.
Yeah.
And they did this year. They were incredible.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. So that was Wednesday. I've got nothing to say about Wednesday.
Yeah, because you didn't go. We talked about going, didn't we? But we didn't. So
yeah. I felt like I would have had to have dressed up. I'm like, I'm dressing up enough for the next few days now.
Yeah, that is a thing. So what happened on Thursday? You went to the celebrity reception at the country club.
Yeah, so Thursday is called the celebrity reception. I'm going to use celebrity loosely.
Yeah. Was she there? She was there.
She was there. So what's interesting about the celebrity reception is I feel like there's two parties happening. You've been to this event in the past. So
Once. I went year before last.
Yeah. So when you come in, there's a lobby with some coffee and pastries and cakes and things, and then there's a bar in the back with
which you made a beeline for,
and a beer and mimosa. Not for that bar, the line was too long.
Oh.
But then you go into the I'm gonna call it the ballroom of the country club. Is that what that is? Off to the right. The meeting room, the facility room, the whatever.
That first very big room with the mirrors on the wall?
Yeah.
Where the
the actual room. Anyway, we'll
whatever,
call it the ballroom. So you go in there and they've got tables and there's food. But that is a presentation. I'm using air quotes here. That's a presentation. They actually talk about the people that are there. They introduce the Queen. They do all these things.
Oh, where the dance floor was for the gala. Yeah. That is the ballroom.
Right?
Yes,
okay.
That's the ballroom.
So that's a little formal. There's a lot of formality there. The very first year I ever attended the reception, I actually got a seat inside and stayed and watched everything. Anybody who's been invited is usually, and by invited, I mean the celebrities in the court, they introduce them all. You get to hear little snippets about who they are. what their platforms are, whatever's going on.
And typically, wouldn't you say it's like maybe a politician-ish or some sort, and then there's like a athlete of some sort?
Yes.
That tends to be the...
Right. And there could be, others in attendance as far as guests. It really depends on what the theme is.
It's not going to be like, for those of you listening, it's not going to be like Tom Cruise or Julia Roberts. It's not that big, but it's people that, I mean, if you're into these...
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine?
Wow.
That would be cool.
That'd be
Julia
neat,
Roberts, yeah.
For sure. So, but yeah, I didn't pay attention to what was going on in that room. Sorry, Azalea Festival Committee. I just didn't do it. Again, I've done it before.
Yeah.
But then it's like you go out back into the courtyard and it's tinted and there's more bars, more food, and that's the social time. I mean, you're 2 hours and change out there just socializing with people. There's no entertainment. There's no music. There's nothing.
And sometimes you don't see people all year long until you see them there.
Right.
And it's a great way to network,
right,
too,
Yeah. So it's a fun, easygoing afternoon, light bites, mimosas, a few drinks, and everybody seems to have a really good time. Now, in years past, we have followed up with like lunch on the water. We'll go to like Fish House like we did last year or something like that and have like a real meal because it is just light bites. Yeah. We'll call it brunch. It's kind of brunchy food, But yeah, beautiful, very windy, very, very windy on Thursday. You remember that day? Yep. It was very windy. Then that night,
T-Pain,
my middle kid who's 18, he and I went to see T-Pain. And surprisingly, it was a really good show. Yeah. I'm not going to say surprisingly. That sounds horrible to the artist. I don't doubt what they're able to put on. But to my surprise, I enjoyed the show because it's not my type of music that I would normally listen to.
Yeah.
But it was really incredible. I mean, and
because I don't really know T-Pain. I mean, I've heard his name around, but everybody's like, "Oh, you know his song," and they throw out the famous song that he's done, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Now that I've seen him in concert, I still don't know what his song
right.
is.
But it's the same thing for the artist that was Friday night.
Chase Rice.
I don't know who that is, and don't know anything about what he sings or anything about him. So, but that's okay. I mean,
yeah, he definitely put on a great show, and if your 18-year-old is there holding his camera and recording lots of video,
then
I feel like it was a good show.
Then you're good.
Like he enjoyed it.
And this was at the Live Oak Pavilion, right on the river?
Down on the river. And we were concerned that it might be kind of cool or cold that night, and it was cool. It wasn't bad. I just had like a t-shirt and a flannel on.
A light jacket, maybe.
Like, yeah. We're getting to the perfect day, by the way.
The perfect day's coming up.
Okay.
The perfect date.
More about that later.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
So that was
Thursday night. So Thursday night, for those of us who didn't go to T-Pain, we're getting all ready for the garden party and we're getting all excited. And
so how did you start your Friday?
I got up at 7:30 and had coffee and mentally prepared myself to be cast into a sea of thousands of people out on the lawns of Airlie Gardens, which is always intimidating for me because I'm not a big crowds person. I'm a wallflower. I just kind of like hover against the wall, and there are no walls to hover against there. You kind of hover around trees and stuff. But it was fun. But we got all dressed up. I mean, if you want me to describe what I was wearing, I most certainly can. What was I wearing? I had on this really cool shirt that I bought from Dillard's a couple of years ago. Everything I had on was recycled. I didn't buy anything new for this. Everything was recycled. I had this great shirt with dark reds and pinks and whatever, and my coat was crushed velvet, pink crushed velvet blazer, which I have worn before, and then I had on some kind of pants, and I don't know what they were. What were they?
I don't know.
And I had on my really dark maroon red Vans because I had on these other new shoes that I bought, and I got ready to leave, and I was like, "Oh, can't do that. Not walk around these things all day long." So I forfeited those. But and then Mark wore his ensemble. Everything Mark wore, my best friend that went with me, he did buy everything new, brand spanking new, the pink blazer and the shirt and the plaid pants and the whole, But this is a big deal, and you do dress for the occasion, and some people go way over the top. And some people don't. There was a few, especially men. Some of them don't tend to go over. There was a few people in like polo shirts and khakis, which is to me boring as hell. But you've got some people in top hats with big flowers on it. And again, I'm talking about the men.
And what's interesting too is like almost every ticket you get, the dress code is on the ticket. I just don't know that some people know how to translate.
Some people have no
springtime party attire or whatever.
Some people have no clue.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we got to the garden party, we actually took a DFS agency is one of the sponsors this year, and they did all of the social media and publicity for the Azalea Festival, and we were able to tag along with Diana Schulman. She's amazing, and a shout out to Diana for all the hard work that she did for the Azalea Festival and getting it promoted. But we were able to take her party bus down to Airlie Gardens because you and I both know getting into Airlie Gardens, if you can get into it, is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
I sort of regret some of my choices that day.
Oh my God!
Transportation.
I mean, we before we thought about the party bus or got on it, we thought, okay, we'll park in the Harris Teeter parking lot, which is, I mean, how far away would you say that is?
Not even a mile.
Half a mile away, and walk over to the gardens. But then we were afraid we were going to get towed. But luckily she was able to pull the bus together, and there was a group of 20 plus of us that were able to get on the bus, and we all got taken right in and dropped right off at the front. And that's the way to do it if you can do it. But otherwise, getting Ubers in and out of there, oh my God, it is a nightmare.
Getting Ubers out of there is the nightmare because there was no cell service hardly.
That's the other problem with Airlie Gardens is that many people, and I don't know if it's just that space or if it's just that many people in that space, but you have zero. And the thing is if you go with your friends and you get separated, and unless
you have to call them. You can get a
can you call them
to call?
Oh, you just can't text because if you're trying to text each other and find where you are, you forget it.
Yeah.
Because there's that many people and it's hard to keep up with everybody. And there were people there that I knew were going to be there, never saw them.
Yeah.
There's that many people over there.
Yep, same.
But anyway, we got dropped off and that was fun and we did our thing and the fashion was amazing, just incredible, like we talked about, especially the women. And there were some people that were pushing the envelope this year, which I thought was kind of interesting. But it went by fast.
It went by really
fast this year.
We got in late. So let me rewind.
Okay.
We started with, I said we were not going to do any pre-parties this year. And we didn't. But somehow we made our own pre-party. And we were at brunches having breakfast at maybe like 9:45. And all of their social media said you show up to any brunch's location and it's 50% off your food order. So we were like, well, let's go.
Sweet.
And there was 9 of us in total there at brunches. We had a great time. And then we all loaded up in one vehicle and we had a driver take us towards the beach, loop around Airlie, and then we sat on Airlie Road for what seemed like forever.
Yeah, we did that last year. We sat on Airlie forever.
And I think it's because of the time. We should have gotten there much, much, much earlier. We had my college roommate and his wife with us. We had my wife's cousin and his wife with us. And so those 4 were experiencing everything for the first time, and they were just in awe of everything and just taking it all in. And
so they didn't know what to expect and didn't know that sitting in that traffic was can be normal, but it's also very frustrating because you're trying to get in and you can't.
Exactly. So I think we finally got in the gate right around noon.
Well, then we got there about the same time then.
Really late. Felt really
because it starts at 11. It's an 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that getting in almost that late, most of the traffic would have died down, and I feel like it was just even
traffic in Wilmington don't die down.
So, but we got in. We saw you and Mark almost immediately. Saw a friend from high school, and just politicked and walked around and talked to people, and just had a good time.
Yeah, it was a really good time. I even ate this year, which I don't normally do. So there's food set up. We talked about this in the other podcast, which I didn't really realize this, but they do a traditional fried chicken. They had barbecue, and they have all the fixings that goes with it, mac and cheese and hush puppies and whatever. And I actually did get some of the chicken, and it was delicious. It was from middle of the aisle catering, and that's
they don't
outstanding. They don't mess around.
Yeah, it's all delicious.
Yeah, it's all incredible. And then they have tents set up everywhere. There's a dance tent where you can. They had a DJ this year, or no, it was a was it a DJ
this year? Yeah, and we never made it back over there, but my gosh. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whoever that DJ was, they were
cranking
on I'd say the dance floor, but it was dance grass.
It was dance grass. I mean, it was covered, and it was a beautiful tent, but it was covered, and then there were multiple tents all around all the gardens with alcohol set up for you to
different bars, different distilleries like Blade and Bow or Bow and Blade was there with 2 different types of whiskey. Or bourbon. They had their bourbon there. Then there was the cake place. And there was just a lot.
The bunt.
Yes.
Nothing Bunt had a little
Aperol,
stand,
which was a big sponsor.
Aperol was a big sponsor this year.
Did you hear the story about the Aperol?
Mm-mm.
I overheard Drew, the president, I think it was Drew, repeating the fact that the Aperol rep said that they brought in more Aperol to this event than they do to the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yes. I was shocked. I was like, are they just not drinking it at the Super Bowl? Or are they not that big of a sponsor at the Super Bowl?
But I don't really see, the only way I drink Aperols is with a spritz. So it's Aperol and champagne, Aperol and Prosecco, I guess, or whatever. That's the only way I drink it. So I don't think you would drink Aperol straight, but I don't know. I didn't get any. I just stuck to the tequila.
Yeah.
That's my jam.
It was still breezy on Friday. Going down to the water was a little cool.
It
was. As long as you were not up on the water, it was a really nice
But
day.
when you're dressed and you're wearing, layers of clothes and you got bow ties on and all that stuff, it's nice for it to be a little cool because, like I said, a couple of years ago, I stood out in the sun and I was sweating to death, and that's not fun when you're all dressed up.
And it did get warmer than forecasted, so that was
nice
as well. It was a debacle trying to leave for us. I can't speak for you.
Our bus came up and then it left us, and then it had to go all the way out and come all the way back around and come through again, and then they weren't allowed to come up to the main drop-off point, so they had to go further out, and so we had to walk out to it, which was fine. No big deal there. But no, we got on pretty quickly, and then our bus was going to take us to Dockside, which is the tradition to kind of go to Dockside or Bridgetender after the party gets out. Or the official spot, I think you said, is Blue Water.
Blue Water now. Yeah.
But
did I tell you my situation? Let's talk about my story.
Okay, let's talk about Brad some more.
Because it is kind of funny. So the plan was for the first time ever to hop the Blue Water bus or the Blue Water shuttles and go back because our vehicle was taken back to Blue Water and left after we got dropped off. We come outside, we're standing at the ticket thing before the party is over, thinking we get ahead of the crowd, and we missed the first bus. It's like, that's okay. They run every 30 minutes. We'll get on the next one. There was a lady in the parking lot telling us where to stand, so we're standing at the flag. The next bus comes in probably 40 minutes later. We've been out there an hour and change now, and the bus comes up and can't get through the people standing there waiting, so they stop at the other side of the ticket office. And everybody bum rushes that bus, and all of us that are doing what we were told to do can't get on the bus. So I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be another 40 or 45 minutes before a bus comes along. Like, I was the one getting bent out of shape. It doesn't take a lot. No. Or rather, it takes a lot
to get you bent out of shape.
Out of shape. And I was like, so called a friend, couldn't make it, called my sister. She goes, yeah, I'll come pick you up. I was like, just pick me up, get me to Blue Water. I'll get the truck, come back. Because I figured I'd still get ahead of all the traffic.
Because you could walk to Blue Water if you wanted to, or especially Dockside and Bridgetender, but it's a bit of a hike.
It is. And the ladies that are in not flat shoes,
right?
So,
it's not.
But my sister Trooper, she was like, "Yes, I'll come. I'll pick you up." And I said, "You know what? I'll even go out to the street and meet you at the street." So I went down the sidewalk, ran down. Got out to Airlie Road. I said, you know what? She's still going to have to get through this traffic. Let me go to is it the Presbyterian Church, that white church on the corner of Military and Airlie? Let me go stand
way up there.
Yeah. So
then the Episcopal, I think it's
or the Episcopal Church. So then I go stand up there and I'm hanging out and I'm waiting and apparently one of my friends, Eileen, if you're listening, thank you for checking in on me. But she texted me. She goes, Brad, I see you on the corner of Military Cutoff. Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, this is my corner. This is what I do.
This is what I do on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Outside of the church.
Yeah.
What better place to do it?
So just as my sister's getting there, and she couldn't even turn onto Airlie Road, so she had to go down because they had it blocked off. So she had to go down Military Cutoff, do a U-turn, and then come back up. And so she basically picked me up on the side of the road.
What about the rest of them?
So that's just it.
You're like, screw them. Just leave them there.
As I'm getting
Dead weight.
into my sister's car, my wife calls and she goes, "Are you on the corner of Military
Oh,
Cutoff?"
I'm home.
I'm like, I said, yes. I was like, Lisa just picked me up. She goes, "We're in the bus on Airlie Road. I see you." So then I jump in the car and I tell my sister, I'm like, go, go, go. Let's get ahead of them. So you coming out is not in vain. So at least I beat them to Blue Water. And then they all got there. And it wasn't even a Blue Water bus. It was somebody else's party bus. They were just like, "Y'all come on. We're going to Blue Water." And they got them. They squeezed them all in.
Yeah, it is a bit of a debacle.
Well,
yeah,
even
I will
the lady
say.
that was trying to direct the people said that for whatever reason, taxis were not participating this year. I don't know what that was all about. But in years past, we have come out and that roundabout is lined up with taxis. And all they do is pick people up and take them to dockside.
You know what I'm going to do next year? I'm going to get helicoptered in. Because I'm fancy like that. I'm going to drop my parachute in,
What
and
do
then
they
I'm
do
just
on
going to
Star
hold on to a
Trek?
thing and let them take me right out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Just be like, zapped in.
Zap me in. A helicopter come and blow all of that stuff all
Yeah.
over the place. That would be so funny.
Okay, so anyway,
Yeah.
that's garden party day for me.
That is that's garden party every year. That's I'm sure we're not the only ones that experiences this kind of nightmare when it comes to getting in and out. And it
Can you
and it
imagine?
makes you anxious because when you anticipate, you already know that it's going to take you a while to get in there.
Right.
It makes me anxious to know that. Am I missing anything?
Well,
You
I
know?
think next year I will hire a party bus.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
and let people in, or I'll hire a driver and make sure that my whole day is executed. But I couldn't imagine going through all that and being intoxicated because the liquor freely flows.
It does freely flow, but I was just thinking of that. But not really. Nobody really gets crazy. Have you noticed that?
There
I mean,
were
not.
a couple.
Were there a couple?
There's always a couple.
Okay, well, I missed it.
But it was not me.
I was not. It was not me. I think I had 2 cocktails and that was it. I was
I
like, no.
might have had to as well. I mean, I would actually have.
And the lines for
sips,
alcohol, they're not long. I mean,
not.
because there's so many stations,
Yeah.
they're not long.
but I might have had multiple sips off of different types of
But
drinks.
here's the thing about the alcohol, which I didn't know, but most of it is donated. Okay, so first of all, for those who know me, know I love Espolon tequila, and they didn't have any Espolon. They had another brand, and they didn't have much of that. So once that's gone, it's gone,
Yeah.
and then you have to think about what else you're going to drink or drink anything at all.
Yeah.
So that's the deal with the alcohol over there. I think there's probably more vodka and gin than anything because that's what most people drink. But
Yep.
or water or tea if you're into that kind of thing.
Well, they had the hoop tea again this year. I like it.
I
I
don't-
only get it at the garden party.
Don't know what that even is.
It's like a spiked tea, but it was a hoop tea.
Oh,
Hoop, HOOPT.
I missed out on that. But
Yeah.
but yes, it was a fabulous day, and it was well worth it. We went home, crashed, and I guess you partied at Blue Water, like you said.
Yeah, so we
and,
went to Blue Water and we ate. I got some crab dip, and there was all kinds of things kind of going around the table, but we didn't even get home till like 6.
But because you had the next
O'clock.
concert to go to. See, I didn't have
Yeah.
anything to do that night, so we really just chilled and kind of mentally prepared ourselves for the next evening, which is the gala. But before we talk about the gala, which is incredible, we'll talk about Chase Rice.
Yeah. So I got home at like 6-ish, might have been 6:15, 6:15. And, the cousins are still there. We're talking. My daughter babysat their kid, catching up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go freshen up, change clothes. We're going to hit the road. So my daughter, who's 15, she and I, daddy-daughter date night, we went to see Chase Rice. And
Also at the Pavilion.
also at Live Oak Pavilion. Yep.
Good?
It was okay.
I don't
Can
know.
I say that?
Yeah. if it's not your thing, I don't know Chase Rice, so I don't.
I didn't either, but I also didn't know T-Pain, and I thought
And
it was a great show.
isn't he from?
He's from North Carolina,
North Carolina too?
as well.
Yeah.
I want to say,
And they don't always get people from artists from North Carolina. That's not always a thing, I don't think. But,
I think they're moving into like trying to
get more
support
local
North
people.
Carolina and keep it a North Carolina centric event. It's not to say, like you said, they're not always going to have these people, but I do think that's sort of what they try to do.
Because at the same time, while all this was going on, they were doing the free concert over at Greenfield Lake at the amphitheater
Was
over
that
there.
going on Friday, or did that start on
I think
Saturday?
it was Saturday maybe, but they do an all-day thing, and that's a free event. We talked about that in the last episode too, and that's all local bands. So that's
Right.
so for those who want to be involved in the Azalea Festival, want to be a little bit more cost effective, and they don't want to spend a lot of money, then you can go over there and you can get into those bands for free. Just pay for your alcohol or whatever. But
well, we walked into the gate. The first thing I do is ask, like I did it for Cooper on Thursday night. What do you want? We went to the Wheels food truck, got a pizza. We were good to go. Tatum was like, nachos and cheese. I'm like, really? Nachos and cheese? So we had nachos and cheese. And then she went back to the chocolate food truck and got the s'mores, which was good. And then I saw old friends from high school there as well, and saw a couple of, colleagues and realtor partners and people. And it, again, just another social event. But that was 2 nights in a row of getting home about 11:30-ish. And so Saturday, I think I was done.
And Saturday was the parade, which I did not go to. I haven't been to the parade in years, but and that's always downtown, and that's always big and incredible.
I didn't even watch it on TV.
I didn't either.
But it was cold that morning.
Yeah, it was cool that morning. Yeah,
I went for a run.
Yeah, I didn't do any. I went to the gym as usual. But so then the next big event that you and I attended was the Patrons Gala or the Queen's Ball. I don't know. I guess it's got several names, but basically it's those who sponsor the Azalea Festival, and it's the Queen's Ball, and it's also at the Country Club. And if you listen to our last podcast, it was we talked about it, and it was Masquerade, which was fun.
Yep.
I was really kind of surprised how many people actually wore masks, except
most did.
You.
I grabbed my free mask off the wall when I learned that they were
when
there.
we were getting ready to walk out the door. Yes. They did. And I didn't even see this when I walked in, but there was a big wall of all free masks for those who didn't have one, which I thought was pretty cool that they did that. But I had on all black this year, and
as did I.
For those of you who know me, I like to push the style envelope, and so I had on a black velvet dinner jacket that I've had for years, probably 20 years, and it's fitted and it's incredible. Nice. And I had on a pair of tuxedo pants, and my shirt this year was a black satin. It had ruffles all down the front, huge ruffles, not just the old 70s tuxedo ruffles. Right. They were humongous ruffles, and the sleeves were ruffled, and I had a black bow tie on, and I had on these.
You should have sat down at the piano in the lobby and done some little Mozart with that shirt.
I don't know how to do Mozart. The shirt was cool, though. I thought it was cool. And then I had on these black patent leather dress shoes that I found that had a slight heel on them, which I thought was really cool. And then, of course, Mark and I had our mask on, and my mask was black, and it had this black feather sticking up. And I've worn this mask before because Mark...
I kept thinking about you walking through that tunnel.
Well, I had to... So Mark and I wore our mask for our 50th birthday party, which was 4 years ago. So we had worn these masks already. So I knew what it looked like, because I had it already. And so when I walked in, we walked into the first little area, and the mirrors are all on that one wall in the country club. And I just happened to glance over and look at myself, and I'm like, oh my God, the feathers on my mask are like... I look like a 3-story building.
It was like 3 feet tall over your head.
It was crazy. But I thought I looked incredible. If you guys want to see pictures of all of our stuff, we're going to include links in the body of the information down below. You can click on our Facebook pages and look at it, because it is pretty cool. But the ball, that's so much fun to me. That's more my speed than anything. But Everybody was dressed. Everybody, the women looked fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
We met each other at the front door. We walked in, and what was the first thing that you did that we saw? That was the coolest thing, and I didn't go over there and do it, but I should have done it. But tell everybody what you did. That was really neat.
You had to walk through the tunnel.
So
they built this tunnel.
I had to like crawl through the tunnel because my headdress was so big. I looked like I was should be a showgirl at Vegas on one of the.
If there were cameras following us around, that would have been one of the funniest moments to get, because your head just flung back with the draping of this tunnel that you had to walk through, because it was low.
But boy, was I hot! Oh my God.
So then
I don't know why all the music just didn't stop when I walked in. And everybody was like, Jesus, who is this?
Anyway, so I did not know exactly what a French 75 was, but I've heard about it because my cousin drinks them. And you go all the way to the other end of the
first big room. It's a mini ballroom, but it's the very first room you walk into.
Yeah, so you walk in, and they've got, I'm going to call her an aerialist, because she has to be for what she was doing. But the thing
contortionist
she was hanging from was not suspended from the ceiling. It was a platform piece on the floor. So there was a big platform base, and a pole went up, and a ring on top of the pole. And she'd sit in that ring, and you'd go over to the bar. You got a champagne glass. They'd fill it up with the gin and whatever other else goes in there. Like, it was all a pre-made mixture in a pitcher, like a decanter dispenser thing.
Right.
And so they'd fill up your champagne glass 60-ish% full, and then you'd go to the little aerialist in the hoop, and she'd top you off with the champagne.
But she just didn't top you off with the champagne, though.
She would sit.
She was upside down. She was upside down, pouring it backwards, upside down, and I was like, "She's going to spill this all over the place."
Yeah. So I've got a picture and I've got a video, and so she like lays back. She's literally upside down, holding herself inside this hoop, and she's holding the champagne, and she reaches over and she just tops off my glass, and I'm like, "That's impressive."
It was very impressive.
So then we met our friends Todd and Stephanie, Dan and Angie were all there, and I'm telling them about it, and I think that they must have come into the country club and gone to the right versus going straight ahead. They never saw it. They didn't know what was going on. So I'm telling Todd about it. Todd's like, I want to go see what's going on. It sounds cool. I want to see it. So he goes up, and I already showed him the picture. So he goes up there, he gets his glass, gets the first bit of whatever's in there, and then he walks over to the girl in the hoop, and she just kind of leans over the ring and pours it. Oh. He's like, man, what'd you do to get her to go upside down? I was like, I don't know. So I went and got a second one. He got screwed. I went and got a second one. Now, when I went up to her, she flipped upside down and poured it backwards
she liked
all
you.
over again. So he was like, let me go top mine off so I can get a picture with her being upside down.
Like, hold on just 1 minute here.
So, but yeah, it was.
Well, I didn't get to do that.
Touch. It was something I've never seen before.
It was very cool.
But that is what the patrons party is about. Just they just do something different, something creative every year. It seems like. Yeah. And I just thought it was neat.
And then if you go through the country club and go out to the back, there's a tent set up, probably much like the tent for the celebrity reception, but I think much bigger probably and much more glamorous because this one was really tall. I think there was a chandelier hanging in the middle of it.
It is the same tent, but
is it the same tent?
They definitely put some hours of work between.
It's not just a tent outside. Yeah. It's glamorous.
Yes. They have crazy really cool. Chandeliers hanging from the ceiling.
There's tables set up. There's
like real furniture stuff, cushion furniture, massive flower arrangements out there, like the white flowers that were in this place. Like if that was anybody's wedding, I don't know who could have afforded it, to be honest. I mean, it is just the bougiest party that Wilmington puts on every year.
And there was one bar in there, or there were two bars in that tent, and one was on the back wall, one was on the side wall. The one on the side wall was really, really cool because when you finally make your way up.
Well, now when you say one bar, like the one on the side with the pick the two words thing, there were two bartenders at that one. And then the one that was on the back wall, there were 3 or 4 bartenders on that one. Oh. Yeah. So.
Well, the one on the side where you walk up and there is a chart there, and there's all these words on the chart. Words like mysterious, smoky, glamorous.
Yeah.
Just words like that.
I love them.
Yeah. Tons of cool words or whatever. And you pick 2 words, and they make you a cocktail based on those 2 words. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
So I had a cocktail, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I said, I love Espelon, and that's exactly what he put in it. And I didn't ask him.
You just gave him the word.
I just
What
gave
were
him
your
the
two
word.
words?
It was mysterious and smoky, I think, or mysterious and something. I can't remember what it was, but I thought that was a cool experience. That was a nice little.
And they've had those folks there before, or at least folks like them, and the end result never disappoints. They are all tasty.
And so the country club is just kind of sprawling, and there's all these little rooms, and so you kind of can get lost if you're not careful. But you just go from one room to the next, and it's just full of people, and everybody's dressed up
and food and bars. It really is an incredible. Like it is a really cool.
And they had a great band. The music was incredible. I don't know who the band was, but they were. Every song they sang to me sounded just like the artist, the original artist.
And anytime I went through the dance hall area,
it was full.
It was
packed.
Full. Yes,
yeah, it was packed.
They were having a good time. I'm not a dancer, so.
Yeah, and remember at the front when you walked in the front door, there was a collage of all different sizes of round, not just regular balloons, but round balloons. And remember, they were little tiny ones, there were big ones, there were really really big ones, and they were all
over
put
the
together.
Piano.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And they were black and gold and white, I think.
And they were all gold. They were all gold.
Really?
And that was.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, shout out. It's Parties That Pop. My
Parties
friend
That
Carrie
Pop.
Roberts did
Yes.
that.
Outstanding.
That is a relatively new venture for her, and she's incredible.
Yeah, that was
incredible.
That was over the top and outstanding. Yeah, pretty cool.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
I was exhausted.
That's all I got for that.
It took me 2 to 3 days to recover. I was done.
And we drove to that night because I don't live too far from the country club, so we were able to get in and get out really really quick. So that was an easy affair. And I think I left feathers all over that place. No, I didn't really. Actually, those mine and my best friend's mask are now placed on the wall, and they're going into moratorium. They will never be worn again.
Oh yeah, okay, that works.
Yeah, so
I think mine stayed in the floor of my car for a few days, and then I finally.
Well, mine did too for a few days too, and then it finally made its way onto the wall. So I was like, okay.
Mine's probably like a $2 Party City special though.
Well, the one that was free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that was an incredible weekend. It did go by really fast. It's hard to believe that Azalea Festival 2024 has come and gone so quickly.
And just think, they're already working on 25.
They're already working on it. Yeah.
So shout out to Allison and all the volunteers that put that thing together every year. You guys did a great job.
They work so unbelievably hard to pull this together, and we don't really know how hard they do work on the backside.
Yeah.
But so if anybody's interested out there in volunteering and you live in Wilmington, they're always looking for people to volunteer. That is definitely something you could do and be a part of this thing. And just also so you'll know, I guess we might have to say this, that the garden party and the gala, the two things that Brad and I tend to focus on, that's not something you can just go to, unfortunately.
Right.
But we have ways of I don't know. How would you say?
I mean, if you can get in with
if you want to sponsor it, then
you have access to everything.
Yeah.
If you don't become a sponsor or a patron, you need to get with someone because
Right.
you can purchase additional tickets off of someone else for literally anything that happens, with the exception of the patrons party or gala
Right.
or Queen's Ball. That Saturday night event, you have to get a ticket from the office through sponsorship.
Or you have to be invited
as a celebrity or something.
Right.
Yeah. You've got to get that ticket. So if you know a sponsor who's not using their ticket, you can use theirs. But it's not like you can purchase.
Yeah, you can't just
it's
go
not
to
on
this
the order
event.
form.
Right.
Yeah.
But sponsorships are available. And I think they said they're still $1,600.
I don't know what they're doing for 25 yet.
I don't know, but I think that's what they were this year, and then you get 2 tickets to everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's a good time.
So it's over, and didn't you say you had a little bit of weren't you a little sad? You had a little, what is it called when something's over and you are sad about it, and were you depressed for a couple of days? You couldn't get out of bed for a couple of days?
No, I was just tired for a couple of days. I definitely wasn't sad, but I do like to stay on the go. Like
Yes.
my wife is a homebody. She does not like to get out like I do. I
You do like to
stay on
go.
the go.
I'm sort of half and half.
But even after that weekend, I mean, starting on Thursday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night,
It's a lot.
staying physical Saturday morning, then Saturday night. It was a lot.
It is a lot.
And I was tired.
Tired. But until next year, we're going to do it all again.
That's right.
Next year, we're going to do more. Lots more.
I can't do more. That's
Well, you do everything. I'm going to do more. I didn't do half of what you did, but I'm going to do more next year.
Yeah, good.
So, all right. Any last thoughts about Azalea Festival?
I'm going to say no, not for 24. We'll put it to bed.
We're going to put it to bed.
And I am looking forward to our...
Oh, I am going to say one thing, and this is something we talked about before we actually started recording. Brad asked me earlier, he's like, did you get a chance to meet Sharon Lawrence, the Azalea Queen? I'm like, no, because you didn't take me over there and introduce her
Oh, yeah,
to
we didn't
me.
even talk about her, did we?
Well, we did. We talked about her at the beginning, but we did. She was at all these events
Yeah.
too, and she was at the gala. She was there. She was very approachable. You can walk right up to her and talk to her,
As I did.
But for those who know me, know I'm a bit of a wallflower, so I'm not just going to walk up and talk to somebody.
I will. I don't care. When we got to the reception on Thursday, she was just inside the lobby and just standing there.
Yeah.
Just like, and every time you saw her, she was just, with her little hands and just in awe of everything. I think she was probably one of the most gracious queens I've ever met, because I have tried to talk to all of them at some point throughout the years. And she sat right there and talked to my wife and me for probably about 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
About how this was such a cool event. She was so happy to be, and I always make sure to say thank you for being here this weekend with us. I hope you have a great time. And when we wrapped up, I said, "Can we take a quick picture?" And she said, "Absolutely." So
Yeah.
we got a picture. Of course, it went on the gram. And then when she got back to LA the following week, it was a few days after that, because I tagged her to say how awesome it was to meet her. And she that's the one she commented back on. She goes, "I had the best time. It was so nice meeting you and your wife, blah 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 blah." And then Saturday night, I saw her again, and she was just hanging out, and I was like, "I know you don't know me." I was like, "We met on Thursday." I said, "Can I get one more picture before the weekend is over?" And she was like, "Absolutely." And we got just
Well, I mean, that's what she's there for. I
Yeah.
mean, she's there to be that, but I think she's genuinely that way. She seemed to be that way. And again, I didn't meet her. I saw her from a distance, but every time I did see her, it looks like she was talking to somebody. She was interacting like she was having
a good time.
really getting into this, and
Yep.
she really loved it, and I think really appreciated
Yep.
I will say us choosing her to be her queen. I had nothing to do with it, but
And she really has done, and maybe it is just the age of social media has evolved so much in the last year. I don't know, but I feel like she's done way more to promote the festival and the city of Wilmington through her Instagram with the reels that she's posted and all the pictures that she's posted. And she's still posting. She's still posting about what a great time that she had.
Oh, wow.
But it was really cool. I think it was the video. If it wasn't Saturday night, it was Sunday morning where she did one, and she just kind of took her crown off and she put it in the box and she closed the lid
wow.
on the box and just commented about how great it was. So go follow her stuff on Instagram.
because again, if you didn't hear before, that crown is the original crown
From
that they've used
1948.
since 1948. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty sweet that that's still being used.
And she was walking around. She goes, "I don't know." She goes, "I kind of think it fits."
she's a lovely woman, and she was a beautiful queen.
Yes.
And she did a great job.
I think she
representing the
represented
Azalea Festival
Wilmington very,
very, very well. So
kudos again, Azalea Festival Committee.
Yeah.
they
They nailed
out of
it.
the park.
They nailed it.
And there's some big shoes to fill next year.
Were you standing there when we were talking to Drew Dentelman? He was the president this past year. We were talking about, it's almost over. You've got one more day of wrapping things up, and how you feeling? And like, are you going to be sad? And he's like, did you hear him say that? He said, yeah, I probably will be a little sad. I'll go for a couple of days where I'm like, I've been working for so many years to get to this point, and now I've become president, because you work yourself up through the ranks, and then and he said, I will be sad. He said, but I'm going to be very happy that it's over, because it is a lot of work. It is very time consuming, and my wife is going to be glad to have me back. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, there's
So,
tons that they're doing, like the school visit and the
It's
garden tour, ribbon cutting, and I mean,
it's
it
way
goes
more than we go on about.
and
There's
on.
there's so many other events that we don't even talk about
Yeah.
that they're involved in and planning for and stuff and everything. But so it turns out we did have second thoughts about what we were doing. So anything else, Brad? Should we talk about anything else? Did we forget anything? Anything? Anybody stand out in particular to you, either at the garden party or besides me at the the gala?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
It was a good weekend.
It was a great weekend. It was one for the books for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Port City Living. We greatly appreciate it.
To this point.
If you've made it to this point, if you didn't get bored and turn us off, please consider subscribing if you haven't done so, and please consider sharing this with your friends and family, because we love talking about Wilmington. It's a great place to live, and we have a lot of fun here. We really, really do. Tune in next time. We're going to have more to come, and remember, if someone doesn't have a smile, give them yours, Brad.
That's right.
All right. Bye, everybody.